Hey guys, I'm Alenka.
And I'm Will.
And we are the Haven't Seen It podcast.
We're a movie podcast talking about movies.
Mostly movies that I haven't seen before.
Movies like
Godfather,
Forrest Gump.
The Titanic.
It's just Titanic.
What?
It's just Titanic. It's not the Titanic.
Okay, well, you guys, I haven't seen The Titanic.
Catch up on all our episodes anywhere you find your podcasts or our website, haven'tseenitpodcast.com.
Bye!
What's that movie? Is it a hit? Don't ask Elaine, 'cause she'll say, I haven't seen it.
Oh, no, I didn't say doxing. I said docking.
Doxmas.
There we go. Every episode, we reveal the name and address of a listener.
Welcome, residents, to the Dr. DC podcast. My name is producer Richard, and across from me is the Doctor himself.
Hello.
Each week, we talk about the weird and wonderful world of DC while fielding questions from listeners like you.
That was good?
I feel about the same as that. Yeah. That was good.
Yes. Okay.
This fine. We have a review.
Oh, very nice.
Yes. 5-star review.
So aggressive.
That's right. It's hashtag 81. I'm like a cool millennial, so like I say like number signs are like hashtags.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like hashtag 81.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a sexy beast, so I call them pound signs.
Oh my god. Good God.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Wow. We're so cool.
I told you I lost a bit of weight. I'm getting confidence. The whole power dynamic has shifted.
I don't like this at all. I got to lose some weight or gain some. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you should.
I should gain some weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's wrong with me?
You can have mine.
Oh, nice. Perfect. There's so much to get. You got a few more.
Never mind. I'm back where I was. I'm back in the same dark place I usually am.
Oh, now the podcast is going to sound all right. This was an Apple Podcast Canada review
Hey, nice.
from Dr. DC Superfan. I'll be the judge of that.
At least it's not Dr. DC Swim fan.
Oh, no. I mean, that seems more like our fan base. With the subject matter, I want a supernatural podcast. No, you are a super fan. No. I take that back.
See. A super fan.
Yeah.
Understood.
I get it now. Yeah. There's no way that you were like a big fan of ours. That makes sense.
This
no.
makes a lot more sense.
They go on to say, fine work, boys. Great guests. Fun shows. Keep it up. I actually don't want a supernatural podcast. I'm so turned around. I've got whiplash.
So you do like our show?
Yeah, let's take that.
That can't be right.
But if you do it, I can connect you with some guests.
Yo.
Oh my God, Mrs. Padalecki?
It's her. She's been listening the whole time, and she's been like, Jared, these guys for like a year have been talking about doing this thing.
You can't trust her. She's a demon.
He is married to Ruby.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's canonical. Oh God, these everything's meshing together.
Worlds colliding.
Yeah. We've got some news. That was pleasant to hear.
You're welcome.
JSA hero Atom Smasher joins Black Adam movie.
That's right. And I'm a sexy beast, so I smash them.
Stop saying you're a sexy beast.
It's actually very entertaining to see how uncomfortable that
This
makes
room's
you.
getting
so few
too
things
hot.
make you uncomfortable.
Something about you sexualizing yourself, but I don't like it.
Oh,
It's so off-putting.
I can finally win.
Here's the problem, though. You push me too far, and I'm like a raccoon. I'm just gonna start playing back into it. I'm gonna pounce.
Right. Yeah. Like that
Don't
time-
corner me.
Like that time you were Call my dad sexy when he
Oh,
was here.
yeah. Yeah, Big Dick Vanya. I forgot about him.
Yeah, BDV.
Yeah.
Right. So the Atom Smasher is going to be in that Black Adam movie. So Atom Smasher, that character, his name is Al Rothstein. He basically has the power to manipulate his like size and density. So he can basically grow super tall, kind of like a giant man sort of thing, basically. But he and Black Adam in the comics have this very sort of fraught
Oh my God,
friendship.
does he have sex with Black Adam? He's Atom Smasher?
No, he's not Atom Smasher. He's not smashing Adam.
Oh, okay.
He's smashing atoms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever they want to call it.
Yeah. His finishing move is the particle accelerator.
Oh, I accelerate way too quickly. It doesn't usually happen this fast. It's normal.
But in the comics, they have this very fraught friendship where they want to be friends, but they're often on like sort of like opposite sides of a conflict. Or when one chooses to help the other one, then it alienates them from the rest of like the Justice Society or something like that. So by putting Atom Smasher in this movie, I don't know that necessarily means we'll see other JSAers, but it does mean that we're drawing on. I mean, big surprise, really, but we're drawing on this very Jeff Johnsian era of Justice Society comics, and that relationship. But that also means that that the Black Adam movie must, at least in part, take place in the modern or relatively modern age, for him to team up with Atom Smasher. So we might get. Well, I mean, I would assume we'll get the origin stuff, the like 5,000 years ago stuff, but we're also going to get some modern day stuff and some things with his Justice Society. Sort of era friendships, which is cool.
And this is going to be a younger Atom Smasher for sure.
Yeah.
The actor playing it is Noah Centineo.
Should I know him from anything?
Centineo.
He didn't strike me as familiar, but that
He
that
is.
doesn't mean anything.
He's big. He's recently become a bit of like a Netflix tween sort of star.
Right.
He was the lead in To All the Boys I've Loved Before.
Oh, okay.
Very cute little like rom-com for teens kind of movie. It was cute. I like it. He's a good actor. He's
nice.
He sort of plays that like dashing good looks, but also kind of like awkward nerdy.
Right. Yeah. I mean, then Atom Smasher is a weird role for him because that character is so not that. He's such like like an outcast, not in the quirky way, like in just sort of being like a lesser JSA or sort of looked down on. They don't trust his judgment, like that.
I could see him with that sort of like Twilight sort of like hair in his eyes kind of thing.
Sure, yeah,
that could work. I think
I'm excited. Plus, if they're announcing casting, it means things are moving
finally
on this Black Adam movie.
Hell yeah. Though I feel like,
I mean, there's Corona, there's things are still shut down. We're a ways away. But the fact that wheels are moving is always encouraging.
Totally.
So yeah, very cool.
Nice. Next piece of news, American Vampire is coming back this October for one final run.
Ooh, really?
Yes. Scott Snyder's his own creation.
Yeah, that's right.
I think
he was doing that before, and that was what got him Batman, I think.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
I think that's what got him like Black Mirror and stuff like that.
Some incredible artwork for this. I'm super into this artwork.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I haven't really read a ton of it, but that's.
Have you seen that?
That's
though?
cool. Oh God, yeah, I love that.
Isn't that fucking awesome?
So this is a Black Label thing.
Yeah,
and yeah. I mean, it's got,
it looks like sort of like old 70s grindhouse sort of art.
Yeah, totally. That's cool. I dig that.
Yeah, I'm super into that.
Nice.
I don't know much about it, but it seems like it's going to be neat.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, moving on. Harley Quinn joins the White Knight universe this October.
Wasn't she already in that one?
Well, she's in it again then, I guess, because...
Yeah, that's Sean Gordon Murphy, sometime Comicsgate apologists, Batman universe, and I could have sworn there were already two Harleys in there, but to be honest, I haven't read it, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
I thought there were two, but maybe this is either a new one or a reinvigorated one or an origin thing, but it's an expansion of that sort of universe.
Yeah, this is Batman White Knight presents Harley Quinn.
Okay, then maybe it's like a flashbacky kind of thing.
It's a
6 I'm pretty sure that
issue,
character was in there. Yeah.
It's a 6-issue miniseries that expands and deepens alternate universe. So, yeah, I don't know, but now that I know the Comicsgate stuff in it, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those ones that like maybe isn't expressly out there spewing hate, but he certainly likes to make excuses for the people that are. So I don't see that
worse
being
than-
much better.
No. All right, moving on. We got our first look at Cheetah from Wonder Woman 1984.
Have we actually?
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh fuck! I have not seen this.
Oh, let me show you then.
Oh, tight.
So it's
That I mean, I know it's a poster, so it's got layers of design on it, but like that.
But
she looks great.
some
That's amazing.
an interesting blend going on with like sort of part skin, part sort of like cheetah fur kind of
That's
thing.
the best version of the cheetah. With the one that is contemporary in the comics is like very humanoid with these sort of cat features, and like holy cow, yeah. I mean, the Kristen Wiig casting thing, I was like,
I know from the beginning we were
and
sort
then
of
like
confused.
I saw a bit of the trailer where we see her as Barbara Minerva, and it's like, well, I can see their friendship. I get that. I mean, just visually, she looks great as Cheetah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm stoked on it. I think,
Very excited. I'm still like pumped through the roof for this Wonder Woman movie. Every once in a while, I go back and watch the trailer again, and
I feel like it's been out for so long, right?
it has.
So,
I'm like, I need
Yeah,
more
more.
Johnson.
well, we might be getting stuff this week, so because we're getting a digital SDCC. So
Yeah, but DC is doing their own thing in August, so
Oh.
they might save stuff. We might not get it
That's
until
fair.
the Fandom thing
Yeah.
in August.
I can't remember if we talked about this on the show or proper yet or not, but the Matt Reeves and HBO Max produced Gotham series.
We might have talked about this a bit off mic or something.
Yeah,
yeah. So the idea was that it would be in the same universe as The Batman, as the movie that he's currently making with Robert Pattinson and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It has the potential possibly to be a thing where like I always talk about Gotham giving up on its premise
Yeah.
and becoming a superhero show. It has the potential not to do that and be a cool detective show. The timing seems odd to want to make a cop show, especially, I mean, maybe it's the right thing because Gotham City is notoriously corrupt. So we're making a show about how corrupt
Yeah.
policing is.
Policing is, yeah.
Perhaps that is maybe it's the right time for that. It totally depends on how it's handled.
Yeah.
It could either be like really outrageously good, something like Watchmen, which sort of came just before all this stuff popped off, but totally touched on what the problems were.
If anything,
or
like
it could be,
Dressley
or it could be wildly tone deaf.
I think that there's no way that someone's like there's no way they move forward with this without.
I'm assuming there's someone in the room who's like, So I do think it has the potential to be like an interesting addition to things.
The idea is apparently
I don't dislike it, but it's just that like we so much Batman stuff all the time. I get it. He's the big banker. Like I'm not saying no Batman stuff. That's never going to happen. That's not realistic.
Yeah.
But it's just like there's a lot of Batman stuff.
From what I'm hearing, is this is supposed to be essentially like the DC Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where it's supposed to be like playing the off of his Matt Reeves series, like he intends to do 3, I think.
Yeah, I think that was the idea. Yeah.
So yeah, they'll sort of play within each other, and you can watch one, and it'll feed into the other.
Well, I mean, we've been promised that before, so I'd be
Yes.
curious to see if it actually.
It's a bit easier to do it with 3 films rather than like 16.
Yeah, than the whole universe of things. Totally, I agree there. I'd be curious though.
And made by the same person who's also making the movies. That's another thing too.
Right. Yeah.
There's
Well, like made by or just sort of developed by? Because you like this isn't the same thing because they're not connected. But like James Wan did one episode of Swamp Thing, got it off the ground, was producer on it, but it really wasn't like a James Wan. You know what I
it's
mean?
supposed to be Matt Reeves' project.
Right.
So I don't know if he's
Okay,
show running it, but it's supposed to be at least like
Right.
his ideas. So
Right. Well, I guess we'll see then.
yeah, I'm into it though. DC gets scary with 2 new anthology books for this coming Halloween.
Ooh, what are these?
So I'm assuming you can guess what one might be.
Of an anthology book?
Yes.
I mean, it's like a Justice League Dark, like a Constantine or Swamp
Close.
Thing or something.
Swamp Thing, yes. It's Legend of Swamp Thing Halloween Spectacular #1.
Very cool.
That's what we're getting.
Love that.
And then there's a DC The Doomed and Damned number 1.
Oh, all right. Do they have like little synopses or?
So first of all,
Oh my God, is that Liam Sharp artwork? Is that Batman and Wonder Woman teaming up again?
Sure looks like it is.
Oh, that looks great.
Let's see.
But these are anthology books, so there'll be multiple creative teams
Yeah.
working on
Doesn't say anything
different
specifically
stories.
about Liam, but yeah, and then
I mean, both of those look great. Yeah, I mean, Swamp Thing's always perfect for Halloween. He's such like a prototypical like Frankenstein's monster, like
Totally.
intellectual, self-loathing kind of like shuffle off into the swamp to cry kind
Yes.
of monster. Like
very, very good
it's
for that.
perfect. Yeah.
48-page collection of 6 all-new stories. The Guardian of the Green reveals past lives and unforgettable horrors.
Oh, I love that.
I love that idea.
I just saw From Ancient Rome. I would love to see
Ooh.
the ancient Roman Swamp Thing.
That's fucking
Like
cool.
a swamp thing, like a swamp centurion. Like I think that would look dope as hell.
That's awesome. Writers Tom King, James Tynion or Tynion.
Tynan, I think.
Tynion?
Yeah.
Yeah, we get a lot of fucking good people in this.
Nice.
I'm stoked about
And
that.
then this Doomed and the Damned.
It was a dark and stormy night when the creatures of DC Universe came to emerge from their lairs into the cool evening's air. Tales of macabre, the murderous, and the morbid around the spine-chilling special about monsters and mayhem.
Well, I'm seeing Etrigan, Madame Xanadu,
Ooh.
Man-Bat. I'm seeing some names on this thing. It looks cool. Again, they've
Carmen
got some,
Maria Mikado.
Marv Wolfman.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
I'm into this. This is fucking cool.
Sweet. I always love those sort of special things. I like when they do the stuff for Valentine's Day, and I dig the stuff for Halloween too.
And the final piece of news today is Batman the Animated Series art book coming this fall from Mondo and Insight Editions.
I did say that.
Holy shit! I haven't wanted an art book like this in a very long time.
So cool.
Good God, it's so good.
It looks amazing.
I need to look at it again because it's so fucking good. Holy shit!
And that's why we need all of you to subscribe on Patreon.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I know. Just look at it. It's so, yeah,
Fuck!
I love that.
I love that art style so goddamn much.
I mean, what an iconic TV show that, like, almost 30 years later, we're still, like, obsessed over this children's cartoon. Like,
It's for adults too.
well, but this is what I mean. Like, it was,
Yeah.
it was so, like, because their whole thing was, like, don't treat kids like idiots.
Yeah.
And then it, like, that is part of it.
Though it's hard because they're so fucking stupid.
So dumb. But that's part of its staying power, right? Like,
Yeah.
I love that. Love that idea.
Yeah, it's a
That's
key-
it's something I can beg for Christmas, maybe.
well, we know the other things you're begging for aren't going to work. So, speaking of key series, this week
Wow.
we're talking
The
about.
Segway King is back.
That's right, just me on 2 wheels and a pole, Segway King. That's right. We're talking about key issues.
That's right.
Racism. We're talking about sexism.
No.
Police force,
Richard.
being too aggressive.
Richard.
Just key issues in society.
Richard, we're not
What?
we're not talking about like those issues. We're talking about
Oh, like you're late sometimes, and you're missing your hair, and you got issues with depression.
those are
and-
such different things, but no.
There's key issues you have?
No, I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about like issues of comics.
Oh, like that time that I like needed to get into my house, but I couldn't find my
No.
keys. That was a big issue.
No, I'm talking about like something important, like issues of comics, like where a character shows up for the first time or something.
Oh yeah, fuck those other things.
Yeah.
We're talking about important stuff today.
Yeah. Other people have those other issues well in hand. So
People come to this podcast to deal with the real issues of society.
yeah, I mean, I realize how misleading all the get a key issues thing was, but I literally didn't have a better way to phrase it. A better, more succinct way to phrase it.
Yeah,
We can't call the episode "Comics That Are Important."
I mean, important comics.
No. No, I don't like it. I'm going to call it key issues. We're going to lure in the people that think this is going to be a good conversation.
There's a key issue.
Yeah, we're talking about like important milestone issues of comics, big moments, mostly.
Oh, I love milestones. It's kind of like a keg or a Moxie's, but just
I
a
love
little
milestone
bit different.
comics.
Oh,
Yeah, Static Shock.
I mean, oh yeah,
Oh,
it's coming back.
supposedly.
Yeah,
Um,
one day.
But yeah,
Talking about all of the important individual, and are we talking about trades or just specific individual issues?
specific like issues, like moments, like for things that you might deem like quote unquote collector pieces if you were that sort of person. So that mostly means first appearances, deaths, big continuity shifts, big moments like that.
What for like first before we start talking about the ones that from the questions, but what important issues do you have?
I think that's one of the questions.
Oh, well, fuck me then. Let's get moving forward. Let's get into the questions. Why do I fucking bother? This is why I don't pay attention.
No, I would argue that that's how we got in this mess.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Yeah, let's just keep going.
Let's jump into Facebook.
Going to the face and the book. Going to the Facebook.
First question comes from We've Only Just done.
You changed the key.
I know. I should have changed it halfway through. Really fucked with you. Dan.
F sharp, listen to me, F sharp.
I wrote an entire song in F sharp once, and everybody in the band got
That's
really
'cause you're
mad
an
at me.
asshole.
Yeah, everyone got
F
really
sharp
mad.
is the worst key.
It's the best song I ever wrote.
You like thrive on other people's like
Misery?
struggle and misery.
Yeah. I'm like those paintings that like as you get older, I get younger.
Those?
Yeah,
Like
you
the
know.
Dorian Gray one?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's really like a story that I like to live by.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was the question?
Oh, who cares? Dan Dunn asks, I have each 666th DC issue. I have each 666th-ish DC issue. That feels like a weird... Is it issues? 666?
No, he has each 666th issue of various series.
And my favorite is The Batman one by Grant Morrison. It features the appearance of Flamingo, everyone's favorite.
Flamingo, a flamboyant serial killer that eats people.
Yep. Professor Pig.
Very cool villain.
PYG.
Yeah. Because it's like Pygmalion, like he's trying to remake people to make them perfect, but he also wears a literal pig mask, so that's the pun.
PYG. And more.
Pretty young guy.
Oh, yeah. Talking about Supernatural again?
Oh, PYG.
PYGs. Would you like to see more of that version of Damian as Batman?
Right, so that 666th issue of Batman is a Morrison book, and it features like a glimpse of the future with a Damian Wayne Batman, and that Batman has like a cool trench coat and stuff like that. You actually do see him again. There was like a 4-issue miniseries called Damian, Son of Batman that was set like in an alternate future where he becomes Batman. And he basically has like a similar sort of look. You'll see a lot of riffs on that like older adult Damian wearing some version of like a coat or a kind of like coat cloak sort of thing as Batman.
Like a duster kind of thing?
Almost like a big long trench coat Batman cape kind of thing.
And he paints his nails black.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the most metal thing about Damian Wayne.
Yeah. Did you ever do that?
Paint my nails black?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I have.
Of course I did. Yeah. You wear those black jelly bracelets too?
No.
What about the spiky ones with the leather? Or you're definitely a leather band guy for sure.
I mean, those are separate occasions, but yes, I was a leather band guy.
Yeah.
It helps you find like the right spirit in which to sing like banana pancakes.
Heal me!
Or I was gonna say like banana pancakes or something like Jack Johnson or like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both work.
But also, yeah, anything Jarl Rock.
yeah.
I
mean,
just like the ocean under the moon.
Maybe the guitar's right there.
If we reach 40,
Oh my God.
If we reach 40 subscribers on Patreon, Richard and I will record a cover of Smooth.
That's only a few more. Yeah, that's it. That's gonna happen.
Yeah.
We've got shakers. I got guitars. We're ready to do this.
All the instruments we need.
Yeah, a shaker and a guitar.
Yeah. Yeah, so that 666 issue is kind of cool that way because it has this sort of future look at Damian. I mean, I think it's pretty well documented. I don't really like the idea of Damian becoming Batman. Now, there are some versions that I think are winning people over, like currently over in the Deceased universe. Tom Taylor is doing a great job of sort of taking the vibe from Super Sons with John Kent and Damian Wayne's friendship and making them the new Superman and Batman and translating that really well. But just for me, like, I just don't like Damian enough, and I don't think he's right for Batman. Like,
No, I
I
don't
think
think
he
so.
can be his own thing. I think he can learn all the right lessons in that. I don't want him to be Batman. I would want Tim to be Batman.
Yeah.
Or I would want like Barbara to be Batman.
Yeah.
Or like basically anyone else. So no, I don't really need to see more of that, but I gotta say, aesthetically, that 666 issue has influenced the way people envision a future Damian Batman.
Oh, really?
Super important that way, yeah.
Oh, nice. All right, moving on. Next question comes from Adam Upper.
Hardly know her.
How dare you? I'm offended. I'm clutching my pearls.
Heal me!
Hot, sick, lonely.
I was literally singing that full volume when I drove over here.
Was there music on?
Yeah. I just put it on YouTube on my
Yeah.
phone, and it was playing through the speakers in my car, and I was driving, windows down, going, heal me, I'm hot sick. Just, and then I pull up to a stop sign, see if anyone else's windows were down. Like,
As you get deeper into my cul-de-sac, you turn it lower and lower.
oh, definitely.
Yeah. Which is funny because I do that with like very aggressive hip hop, and you do that with Jarl Rock.
I do it with everything. I
Oh,
don't
that's
need
true.
people to like hear how bad my singing is.
Oh, yeah. No, that's all I want. That's why I turn the music down so I can sing louder. All right. Adam asks, what are your best/favorite key issues in your own collection? Oh, right. I guess I did.
Maybe if you read ahead a little bit, you would know that.
If you could afford it, what key collector issues would you want?
Ooh, right. Okay, so ones that I have, I have like Flash 139. It's the first appearance of Reverse Flash.
Ooh, yeah.
Which
that was a gift.
That was a gift from my parents, yeah,
Yes.
which is pretty dope. I've got like of my sort of Flash important ones. I've got Flash 275, which is the death of Iris West. It's when Eobard Thawne kills her. I've got Crisis on Infinite Earths 8, where Barry dies. I've got a couple of like first issues of Flash series, and we'll talk about it a bit. But like, possibly, I own a ton of key issues from like the modern run of characters that were created, like Godspeed, Bloodwork, the Still Force, the Sage Force, all these things that like Bloodwork and Godspeed are now on the show. They literally were created like within the last 6 years.
Oh, wow.
So technically key issues, if 20 years from now, we care about Godspeed.
Yes.
Right? Like this is sort of the thing, is like,
You can only...
there's a subjectivity to these things.
Yeah.
If you're just talking about, is it a first appearance of something? Then yeah, I've got fucking tons, because there's a first appearance of so many things and so many issues. But does it matter? So in Crisis on Infinite Earths, there's a bunch. I've got the first appearance of Dr. Light, first appearance of the Anti-Monitor, for the death of Supergirl. I've got Action Comics 662, which is Superman reveals his identity to Lois.
Oh, wow.
I also have the very recent, I think it's Superman 18, where he reveals his identity to the world.
Yeah.
I've got the issue of Justice League of America where Zatanna joins the League. I've got a lot. I've got the first appearance of Cyborg, Raven, and Starfire, which is DC Comics Presents number 26. Yeah, I mean, I think I have quite a few. I've got your Death of Superman, Death of Jason Todd. I've got like those kind of things. Yeah, I would say I've got a few, but I also don't like go out of my way to like, I need these things, must add to the collection. There's one that I love to death, but like, it's not necessarily like a huge deal, which is Adventure Comics 452. It's the death of Aqua Baby, which is a super downer.
Oh, okay.
Black Manta kills Arthur and Mira's kid.
Jesus.
But it's also the issue that I talk about a lot on here, where Black Manta takes his helmet off and he says, "Haven't you wondered why they call me Black Manta?" And they reveal that he's black for the first time. It's part of like the 2 or 3 issues where they say that his plan is to conquer the sea for black people, and then they're like, "This is a bad motivation.
Yeah,
Sweep that under the rug." But so that's sort of like a little culty thing that I like to own. but
Do you have anything that's like a first print? Anything like that? I guess a lot of the newer stuff is.
Most of the ones that I mentioned, I've got first print. My Death of Superman is like a second or third printing because they made so many of them, which is why the bottom fell out of the market. When people got really disillusioned with that sort of like stunt.
Yes.
I mostly have first prints when they're like older than 30 years, just because they didn't really do a ton of reprints. I have like a Dollar Comics reprint of House of Secrets 92, which is the first appearance of Swamp Thing. Like, I have a 50th anniversary reprint of Action Comics #1, where it's only the Superman story. If you had the actual Action Comics #1, there are other stories in there too, and it's worth a fortune. I have this 50th anniversary one just because it's fun for me to have a physical copy of the original story.
Yeah.
But it's not worth anything. It's like a $2 comic, right?
Yeah.
So I have a lot of that kind of stuff because I'm not really like, I'm not like a speculator. Like I don't try to make money on the things. I want to read them. So
the ones that are important to you. Yeah.
I keep them in good condition. I look after them. I'm careful with them, but like they're there to be read. I don't have anything in like a glass case or I don't do anything like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, ones I would want, just off the top of my head, I really want first appearance of Ocean Master. That would be one I'd really want. And I really, really want the first Green Lantern, Green Arrow of the start of that run. I'd love to have that.
The one where the road trip one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would that sort of iconic cover with Green Arrow shooting through the lantern and stuff like. That's what I want. I've seen it in comic shops
Hard
before.
Traveling Heroes, is that?
Yeah, and I've seen like I don't need it to be like mint condition. I've seen them for like $175, and I go like, "Is today the day?" And I go like, "I can't do that."
No, too much. Awesome.
Yeah. Are there? I mean, I know you're not a comic collector, but like, is there like a thing or a moment or anything that we've like talked about on the show where you're like, if I got the chance to get that, I would do it? Do you have anything?
I mean, there's certain ones like I have first. I mean, I take your whole list, and that's what I have technically, because it's all in my cupboard and they're all mine now. But
how dare you?
I didn't know I had so many important issues. It's good to know.
Son of a bitch.
For those who don't know,
this is why I can't trust.
Yeah, the Doctor has left all of his comic books in my house right now. So while he's moving houses, so technically I have all of those issues he's talking about.
You have more leverage than I'm comfortable with.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I own all the cards and the issues. I have a couple like of myself. Already, I have a first print #1 Miles Morales Amazing Spider-Man,
right?
Which is awesome. I love having that one. I got that one as soon as I found out it was happening. I have like a first print #1 Walking Dead,
sure,
which is really nice to have. It's not a thing that, I mean, I love the sort of signed like single issue stuff that I have.
I should say that that I do have some signed comics.
Yeah.
And those can also count as key issues. They don't have to necessarily be like when something happens, but I definitely have a couple of signed issues of Infinite Crisis. I've got a signed, I think Dark Knight 3, The Master Race #1.
Yeah,
I've got that one. I've got a few in my collection, and that I've been lucky enough to like receive from friends and stuff like that. So that's been pretty cool.
I like my Detective Comics 1000 important.
Well, yeah, that's right.
Ones that I would love to have. I don't know. It's hard, right? Like I because I don't follow any of the individual characters super well. I super strongly. It would be nice to have some of the sort of like important. Some of the Flash ones would be nice to have.
Yeah.
I'd love to get the sort of like first hook hand Aquaman. That would be a fun one to have.
I've got those babies too. Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff.
That 90s run, like I'd say I have about half of that full run, and it's like it's one of my prized possessions.
Yeah.
If you do anything to it, it'll kill you.
There's But you just told me that it's your prized possession.
Yeah. And
so now I
also
know.
told you what would happen if you did anything to it.
You got a lot of time before you can find out. Those boxes have been there forever. You don't know what condition they're in.
Well, enjoy the time you have.
There's an issue I've been trying to track down for a long time. Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale did a color series for
that's
Marvel.
right, yeah.
I've been trying to collect all of those for
That Spider-Man blue, so evasive.
Yeah. I've
so hard to pin down.
I have multiple people looking for it. I've got the Daredevil yellow.
Right.
I've got Hulk gray. I might have Captain America white, or I'm looking for it. I can't remember.
Right.
But yeah, I'm trying to find that fucking Spider-Man blue. That one I really, really want. Those are really important to me. That I'm sort of slowly trying to collect. It's funny though. I have a friend who's like just started getting into comic books by collecting Walking Dead.
Oh, jeez. There's a lot to collect.
Well, yeah, and now they just the other day announced that they're doing all of them in color now too.
Holy shit! Really?
Yeah. So
I mean, that has the potential to be very cool, but that was such like part of the aesthetic of The Walking Dead.
I
It
know.
was just so like.
I know.
Yeah.
But God, what a smart money move that one is.
Of
Jesus
course, yeah.
Christ. I mean, what a
Because
genius.
everyone's already got their issues, their compendiums. Their
now
like,
you have, it's like fucking going from DVD to Blu-ray. Like, it's like, fuck, why? I can't not have that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he messaged me, was just like, motherfucker, like, now I have to get this. But it's funny watching him sort of get into it. Now he's watching all the YouTube videos on like how to properly like board and bag and everything.
Right.
And he's like going to other comic book stores being like, they're not doing it right.
I will say, I mean, I'm not like a crazy stickler for things, because I'm not trying to sell these on the secondary market or anything.
Yeah.
But I have been to comic book shops where I am appalled at the way they handle comics, where it's like, were you just eating a hot dog? Did you just touch a comic? How much oil is on your hands? What do you like? I'm not even that precious with it, but it's just like the basic courtesy things. It's like, just wipe your hands off first. What are you doing?
Or don't bend the binding.
I mean, the number one thing that gets me when I get you to read a comic, which is why
That's why you stop giving me physical
That's
issues.
why I've just fully transitioned into digital comics, is because I can't take it.
I know you should watch me fold my iPad in half. It was not good.
Yeah.
That's why I couldn't do it today's.
Yeah, it's there are, but I'm like that with regular books too. Like I don't like crack the spine or anything. Like
It's the best feeling.
But you wanted your book to stay nice.
The pages
I
are still
never
there.
wrote in a textbook.
Really?
I never did anything like that. Like everybody.
But how are you going to know how the proper way to do those potions?
Well, someone else could write in a textbook. But I will take it and keep it.
You'll
in that
never be a
exact-
Half-Blood Prince.
No. I
Never.
suppose not.
But yeah, I guess those are probably the ones that I would really that I'm trying to sort of track down. I've also got a Why the Last Man #1.
That's pretty cool. Nice.
Yeah. Just ones where I'm like, if I come upon them or if I start hearing about things, I'll grab stuff, and some of them turn out and some of them don't.
And again, some things are like important to me, but maybe don't count as a key comic. Like I'm like, oh, that's a fun moment. I want it.
Yeah.
And then I've got that Animal Man issue
Oh.
from Morrison's run
Yeah.
where it's like, although it might not be a Morrison one, but it's the one where on the cover it's Psycho Pirate and all the things are coming out of his head, and it's about like Psycho
Mother
Pirate.
is a boy's best friend.
He like remembers the crisis. Always. So like that's one where it's like, that's cool, I want it.
Yeah.
So I don't know necessarily that counts as a key issue on the collector market, but it was one that was like, I need it.
I think partly of the way that I collect is based on also, I'm always sort of collecting for a child I don't have. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I mean, that's the excuse that I used for a long time.
yeah. Now you've got it, and you're like, get away from my comics.
Yeah, it couldn't be more.
Get out of here, Kyle.
Couldn't be more clear that it's for me.
As your wife's just like, here, show her the book, and you're like, haha, not yet.
I do have some like duplicates and stuff, or like on Free Comic Book Day,
Yeah.
I'll pick up like kid ones. I'll give them to my daughter,
But she's
and
very
then
young.
she'll
She's not
grab them
like
and wave them around till
Yes.
the pages rip out, and then I go like
a single tear rolls down your face, and you
Yeah.
walk out of the room.
yeah.
Yeah, understandable. She's not at that point yet.
No.
Give her a couple more.
And who knows? She might like read it and be like, "This is for fucking dorks," and then go like read Dostoevsky or something instead. And I'll be like, "But Superman."
She's gonna be like, oh, "Wow, that HIV episode was really heavy-handed."
That aside, good example, I would say, of a key issue.
Sure, there's lots of issues with that. Moving on, let's leave Facebook and head on over to Twitter.
Twitter.
Tut tut.
Monster.
First question comes from our favorite spacey, sexy texter.
Cosmic DM. Well, I got a message. I got a cosmic message. Oh, nice.
Yeah. Oh my god. I didn't know you were going to make those in public too.
That was the voice memo that I just
Cosmic DM asks, was DC Universe Rebirth #1 the first time the Watchmen universe was acknowledged as part of DC's canon multiverse?
I think, technically speaking, yes. We get the button, like the smiley face button literally appears in the Batcave. It ends with the "Nothing Ever Ends" Adrian quote and stuff. It's setting up all the Manhattan stuff that we've been dealing with since.
Yeah.
Technically, yes. However, not a crazy logic leap or whatever, but there's an issue of the question from like the 80s or the 90s. It's the question 17. And basically the question is on a bus or something, and he's reading Watchmen. And then he has a dream about Rorschach. And of course, the question is the character that Rorschach is based on.
Yeah.
So it's this sort of metatextual riff where he's dreaming about like, how would Rorschach deal with a situation?
You probably go to the Jersey Shore with
So
him.
it's technically a dream. He doesn't meet Rorschach.
Yeah.
But what do we know about comic books in DC? As far back as Flash 123, where Jay and Barry meet,
Yes.
a comic book is a window to another
That's
universe. Now, when that question series was out, it was probably after Crisis on Infinite Earths. So technically, there was no multiverse at the time. But now that, since Convergence, Crisis on Infinite Earths, the Infinite Earths survived, which means you can retcon back to that question series and say there are infinite Earths, and that comic book of Watchmen is the window to the Watchmen universe, and canonically DC acknowledged it. So you could do like a series of retcons and slight logic leaps and say that the question 17 is the first time that DC was like, we know about Watchmen.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
But really, for all intents and purposes, we're talking about DC Universe Rebirth #1, but if you want to be the annoying person at a comic book party, you can bring up the question number 17.
Actually,
If you didn't know.
I believe since the events of Convergence, there was an Infinite Earths again, so...
And you
It's funny that I'm doing
get
this about
all-
something I just said.
Yeah.
Like I'm making fun of myself, but
yeah, and then you get all the laid.
oh yeah.
So much laid.
Ladies love when you explain detailed comic continuity
Ladies,
to them.
fellas, non-binaries, everyone.
Everyone. If you're at a party and it looks like people are enjoying themselves, talk to them about comic continuity.
Because you thought they were enjoying themselves before. Oh, baby.
Sploosh.
Yeah, it's going to be fucking wetter than a fucking water park in there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Took you a while.
Yeah, I know words. Nailed it.
Sweet.
Next question comes from Adam Talking Superman. Speaking of knowing words, Adam Talking Superman now.
Yeah. That's Bizarro Adam. He has a podcast. So
Yes.
Adam Talking Superman.
Superman, I'm good.
Yeah.
Me, I'm hurts, Josh.
Goodbye to this episode of podcast.
Yeah. That's the beginning of it. It's because it's Bizarro.
Yeah.
See, I get comics. I know how things work.
Not subscribe on social media. Hello.
Won't take clothes off on paywall.
Not sign up for me, not OnlyFans.
Adam asks, in Flash of Two Worlds, Jay Garrick was a comic book character to Barry. Do you have a preference between this aspect or taking the legacy from a physical person?
Right. So this thing that we sort of just mentioned. So in Flash 123, that's the first time that the Silver Age Flash, Barry Allen, and the Golden Age Flash, Jay Garrick, meet. And the conceit basically is that they're on parallel Earths, and that on Barry's Earth, Jay is a comic book character. And so they basically say like, oh, the person writing the comic must have gotten these sort of like subconscious impressions of this parallel universe. So he recorded your actual history as fiction on my world.
Yeah.
Which is the foundation of how we think about the multiverse in DC now, which is wild that it is a concept from that far back.
Well, it's kind of great that they did
I
it.
mean, that's such a Morrison thing, is take something from the Silver Age, turn it into this big, important thing.
But it's also a very DC thing to do, because if you look at Marvel and that Miles Morales Spider-Man there, he was just like, oh, I thought you were just a comic book character. He's like, no, I'm in real life too. And they're like, cool. And then they just kept going.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
It's a very DC Marvel difference.
But then after Crisis on Infinite Earths,
Yeah.
when it was only one universe, instead of being Earth 1, Earth 2, the Justice Society Earth 2 became like the first generation of heroes. And now you have an Earth 2 over here, but the main Earth has that multi-generational thing, so that you had like your quote unquote war era heroes like Alan Scott Green Lantern, Al Pratt the Atom, Jay Garrick Flash, Dr. Fate, Spectre, Carter Hall Hawkman, all these people, and that they literally inspired the next generation.
Literally inspired.
They literally inspired the next generation. So yeah, what do I prefer? Do I prefer Barry being like, I got super speed? That's just like a comic I read. I'll also call myself the Flash.
Yeah.
Do I prefer that, or do I prefer him being like, man, Jake Eric, what a legend, war hero? And then,
Yeah.
I mean, I think I obviously must prefer the second one.
Obviously? I wouldn't say obviously.
I think because it's the real world thing. It's a little. You know what? I don't know. There's something kind of endearing about that like this comic clearly touched Barry. It's this idea that like that he's so moved.
The courts are still
no,
looking
he's
into
moved by it. I jumped in there before you got there. It had such an effect on him that when he is bestowed with superpowers, the thing that he thinks of is this comic, and he becomes the Flash because of it. Like, if you were a person that made art, that is the absolute apex of what you would want.
Yeah.
You know, if there were real superheroes and someone was like, yeah, well, and I really liked insert TV show. Like, I watched every season of Reno 911. That's why I'm Mr. Reno or whatever. If you were the creator of
Wow,
Reno
that's
911,
the thing that you jumped to?
I've had a weird day.
Of all of the things that you could have pointed to, that was the
Also,
thing.
cops again. I don't know why.
But also, like, not that's why I became a cop, but that's why I became Mr. Reno.
Like,
Not even like Mr. Police or Mr. 911, but Mr. the place that the show is taking place in.
maybe he patrols Reno. Maybe he has pride in his
I'm a
hometown.
walking cheap casino. They call me Mr. Reno.
At any rate, that would be like the ultimate compliment as like an artist, is that someone takes something you made for fun and fiction and it inspires their real life.
That being said, please don't go shooting up a bunch of people and call yourselves the Mr. Dr. DC podcast.
Jesus Christ. Well, yeah.
That's not the greatest.
Yeah,
thing.
I mean, I guess just yeah.
You have to be aware of who our fans are.
I think we should be the ones vetting when you can use our name.
Yeah, you can pass it through an approval system first.
There's something kind of adorable about that.
Yeah.
I do love that original idea, and I love that it has stuck, that idea that comic books are these other Earths. But I do think having a physical Jay on that Earth, part of that Earth's history, who becomes such like a member of the Flash family. He's basically like the Flash family grandpa. Like, he helps mentor. He's got a great relationship with Wally and with Bart. And with Barry, you know, like, he's so part of that, and that's all that New Earth era. I think I prefer that.
I think I'm going to prefer the other way.
Really?
Yeah. I especially because I know that the worlds are connected, and that those comics were based off of like whatever sort of cerebral connection is to the actual real Jay Garrick. I think that thing, that overcomplication that DC loves to do, makes it kind of more interesting. So I think that's the version I like more, but they're both awesome and valid.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, next question. You know, if you don't stand for things that is injustices in the world, you can always Ryan Putney on the ground.
I thought you were going to quote Hamilton. I thought you were going to say, like, if you don't stand for anything, what will you fall for? And I was like,
hey, you know, I've got to take my shot. So
Theodosia writes me a letter every day. So obsessed.
you know, you don't give up your shot, you know.
And he does. He does give up his shot.
Ryan asks, name one key issue for each member of the Justice League. Also, what from the New 52 do you consider a key issue? So obviously we can't do every single member of the Justice League. Let's just do the
sort of big ones.
the big six, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Superman, Death of Superman. That's Superman Volume 2, number 75.
Yeah.
Batman. I'm going to say Batman Volume 1, number 1 from 1940.
Okay.
It's the first appearance of both Catwoman and the Joker.
Wow.
So it's not the first Batman comic or the first Batman story, but two of his biggest, most important supporting cast are in that issue.
Wow.
Which is pretty cool. Wonder Woman from the George Perez run, the Wonder Woman Volume 2, number 9, I think is the first appearance of our sort of modern version of the Cheetah. The one that the movie Cheetah is based on, the one that we sort of know the best. There were previous ones where it was like a woman in a Halloween cheetah suit, like
what was the first issue with the egg food?
Such an iconic issue.
Yeah,
How could we forget?
No.
Moving on.
Or paper.
I mean, on a darker, less helpful, less in its own sort of way where people might not want to admit it, but it technically is a key issue for Wonder Woman. You could say it's Wonder Woman 219 is the one where she kills Maxwell Lord.
Oh,
that's a big moment.
Yeah,
it's a huge moment, but a lot of people don't like it. They say it's out of character, blah blah blah. But I don't know that makes it not a key issue.
That's fair. I mean, yeah, key can be also be for a bad reason.
Well, yeah, right. I mean, which is sort of upsetting.
There's a few key episodes of his podcast I'd like to forget.
Flash. We just talked about Flash 123, Flash of Two Worlds. That's a huge Flash one, but also Crisis on Infinite Earths number 8. It's the death of Barry Allen. That's a really big one. Those might be like the two real big pieces, but then of course there's first appearances of characters and stuff like that. Green Lantern. I'm going to say Green Lantern. I think it's volume 3, number 50, which is the end of Emerald Twilight. Hal becomes Parallax, and Kyle Rayner becomes a Green Lantern. Kyle's first appearance is 2 issues earlier, but he's just like a guy. But he becomes a Green Lantern in Green Lantern 50. So I'd say that's a pretty big one. And then, of course, like that Green Lantern, Green Arrow run, that's big in there. Aquaman. I sort of picked like a silly one for this, which was Aquaman Volume 5, number 2, which is where he loses his hand.
That's the one that I said that I wanted.
Yeah. Just because that look was so iconic.
Yeah.
Like, you got to read the issue where it happens, where he loses his powers for a bit, and then piranhas eat his hand down to the bone.
Oh my God, is that really what happens?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. It's pretty wild.
That's insane.
And they show it. They show his bone hand at the end of the issue.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
My right hand's my bone hand.
Oh, no. Martian Manhunter is a weird one, because other than his first appearance, which is Detective Comics Volume 1, number 225, I think?
Yeah.
Other than that one, it's hard to trace, like, what are the important Martian Manhunter stories, because he either has short run series or he's a supporting character in something else. Like, there are moments for him. You could maybe say Final Crisis number 1. That was the death of John Johns. That was a big emotional moment, but he also came back to life like 3 years later. You could maybe pick, whatever that issue of Justice League International is where he defeats Despero with the Mayavanna. It might be important to John that he did that thing, but I don't know that that's a key issue.
Yeah.
John's sort of a weird one that way. You could pick first appearances of like his villains or something though, like the White Martians or Malefak or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think those are the ones for him. And then what was the second part of this question?
What from the New 52 do you consider a key issue?
I mean, again, you could talk about like first appearances of maybe some of the New 52's quote unquote important characters. Lincoln March, the sort of Prime Earth owl man that like works for the Court of Owls. Get him in there. I would say any of the number ones because they
Riker?
Number 1 because they had canceled every title.
Yeah.
And relaunch them all as number 1s. Every one of those number 1s becomes a key issue because it's the first of this. The New 52
Yeah.
itself is now a thing people might want to collect.
For
'cause
sure.
It's this,
Oh, yeah.
It's its own era. It's its own curiosity.
Though some people stopped collecting when New 52 came out.
Well, I know, right? Like you might not like the stories, but I think
Yeah.
from a collector perspective, if that's
Yeah.
the approach you take to your to what you buy, you have to get it anyway. You don't have to read it if you don't like it, but like you definitely need those number ones.
Yeah.
Like I've got the Green Lantern and the Swamp Thing number ones from the New 52.
Yeah.
And Aquaman. They did like a 0 issue thing, which was like some new origin kind of story stuff that helped establish the new continuity. So those 0 issues are probably big ones to have. God, I mean yeah, I mean, again, it's subjective. Those are sort of the broad stroke things I would say for those ones. I might include like whatever the first issues were that really like explored the multiverse in the New 52 era. What does the new multiverse look like? So
Yeah.
you might be talking about, it might be an issue of Mr. Terrific where he finds Earth 2, or it's not Earth 2 number 1 or number 0, but
Yeah.
one of those books that was like, oh, and by the way, we do have other Earths. The start of Forever Evil, when the crime syndicate shows up, or whatever issue that was at the end of Trinity War, stuff like that.
Totally. All right, let's leave wherever we were, Twitter, and head on over to Instagram.
Now we're going to Instagram, take some questions and answer them.
So if you find a glory hole in a rock partition, you want to make sure you call this guy. It's Jack Stonewall.
Jack Stonewall.
That's right.
I like that you're applying like a braid-on sensibility to his name.
What was that sound? Sorry.
Oh no, it's morning. A doggy is screaming.
That's right. Jack.
Stonewall.
That's right. God damn it.
Only I can stop this train.
You son of a bitch. Jack Stonewall. I was trying to prop my car up and then I hit something. It must have been a Jack Stonewall.
Wow. Yeah, I got stopped midway through my 19th century schoolyard game. It was a Jack Stonewall.
I was trying to produce a sample so that I could have a baby with my wife, and then something stopped me with a Jack Stonewall.
Good Lord. What does Agent Stonewall as?
Mr. Stonewall to you. Can we talk about Blue Beetle's death? I think that's one of the hardest hitting moments for me, and I still don't think I'm over it.
Yeah, I mean the death.
It doesn't sound tough at all, Jack.
The trouble with the death issues as key issues is how quickly people come back after them usually.
Oh, yeah, people don't... some people maybe should have stayed dead.
Well, dead is better.
Yeah, that's right.
The ones that I think have the most, not necessarily monetary value, but the most like kind of collection value are the ones where it wasn't immediately reversed. So like that Final Crisis number 1, Death of John Johns, I wouldn't really count that because he comes back so soon after that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Superman comes back soon, but the idea of killing Superman was so revolutionary that it's its own sort of special. But we're talking about Crisis on Infinite Earth number 8, where Barry dies, huge. Supergirl dying in the issue before, crazy. At the end of Crisis, Dawn Hall, the first Dove, dies, huge issue. And then, like 20 years after that, we come to Countdown to Infinite Crisis number 1. It's the death of Ted Kord. And this one is important because Ted literally stayed dead until like well into the New 52 era. I think it wasn't until Forever Evil that we got confirmation that Ted Kord existed.
Oh, wow.
In the DC universe.
Jeez.
So that was like almost almost 10 years.
Jeez, man.
Which is significant.
Yeah.
So in Countdown to Infinite Crisis number 1, Ted Kord is trying to discover, like, someone is funneling money through his company and stuff's going wrong, but he's no one will help him because he's wrestling with this legacy he has as being sort of like a silly hero that didn't take his job too seriously. People don't see him as someone to take seriously or someone to help legitimately. Even Wonder Woman, who actually listens to him and says, keep me informed, like does not say, I'll come help you. She just goes like, let me know. So everyone is dismissive of him. John is, Batman is, everybody. And it ends with him uncovering the biggest conspiracy and Maxwell Lord behind it all. And Maxwell Lord shoots him in the head because Ted won't join him. Yeah. And that death spurs the whole events of Infinite Crisis, basically. It was like a shocking moment, especially because you're taking one of the lightest hearted characters DC has and shooting him in the fucking head.
Like fucking Captain Carrot. Like,
well, yeah, right. Because it's not, he doesn't just die off panel. It's a silhouette, but like you see his brains blown out.
Jesus.
In the comic.
That's crazy.
It's a really like outrageous,
it's hard to look at,
image. I mean, it's not technically
comics,
graphic, but like it there's no maybe he missed. Yeah. There's no like
didn't see the blood splatter, he's not dead.
Yeah, exactly. Like here, I'm just gonna pull it up so you can see it. Yeah, Max tells him like you could join me, and Ted says, "Rotten hell, Max." And then here we are. Which is a great line. And then Max shoots him in the head.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Something you were not expecting, yeah.
Yeah, and it's very jarring. And I think it actually, like, it's funny to say this about fictional character. I think it did hit people hard.
Yeah.
He was a lot of people's like favorite character.
Especially if
you grew up reading that, like Giffen, like DeMatteis, like Justice League International, the Bwaha era, where him and Booster Gold were this fun buddy team and this silly adventures, and they had so much fun. To take a character like that and kill him, I mean, it was making a point that is part of Infinite Crisis, which was all about how dark the world has become. So he's sort of the perfect martyr for it.
Yeah.
But I think it really, like, that really affected people in a way that, like, you think could only a big hero's death affect people. And it's like, no. It's just this one.
People also were
this sort of
expecting that,
cult
right?
classic, this sort of favorite, this one that people had dear in their hearts, and they're like, he's over here in this corner. No one's going to touch him.
Like, it's not Superman, right? Like when that happened, everyone knew it was coming, and you couldn't, like, this. I bet most people for a long time were reading. I mean, the internet wasn't what it is now when that came out. So people weren't like talking about it as much. So you actually had the opportunity to really be sort of taken by surprise.
Yeah. So I don't think it's like silly to still have that. Like I read that single issue a lot. It's like one of these big 80-page giants, but I read it a lot. It's a good story, and it is really heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Like that's one I come back to a lot.
For sure. All right. Moving on. Next question comes from the real Josh Gill.
Yeah, sexy Gill.
Just real Josh Gill's waiting for you. Up late at night. Oh, I've got these comic books. I don't know what to do with them. Is it just me, or is it getting hot in here?
I'm just going to Josh Hub.
Oh, well, yeah, of course. There's real Joshes in your area.
Yeah. You won't last 5 minutes with this Josh question.
Oh, step Josh, what are you doing?
But you're my step Josh. Jesus Christ. So fucked up. Oh. My search term is Josh with glasses.
Oh no. I didn't realize we've been friends this long. We have the same search terms.
I'm so sorry, Josh.
I want Josh Gill to show me real estate.
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about.
No, yeah.
What's that a reference to?
Yeah, I want Josh Gill to look for laundry in a dryer for too long.
Jesus Christ.
Some comic books underneath that bed. Why don't you get stuck underneath there?
I like it when Josh is with me, but he's writing into another podcast.
Dear Dr. DC, I had a fantasy of reading comic books the other day.
What did Josh ask?
Does it even matter anymore?
I mean, no.
Josh has key issues. Oh shit! Let's talk Justice League of America, Volume 1, number 41.
Right. Which I think is the first appearance of the Key.
Ooh,
Who's a...
it's a key issue.
Oh, you son of a bitch! I see what you did there. It's
Wow.
a key issue.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. I didn't last 5 minutes. No.
That's with Josh. How could you?
Yeah, it's a villain that we don't see too much anymore, but for a while he was like a big Justice League villain in that sort of Silver Age was the Key. His thing was like unlocking people's secrets.
Oh,
I think it was also good with locks, but like and sort of escapology kind of stuff. But
Khajiit.
I think the plot of that issue though, that Justice League of America 41, is that he causes the Justice League to disband by like spiking the punch bowl or something.
Jeez.
Or he like hypnotizes Snapper Carr into doing it, or there's
God,
something,
of course.
something fucking stupid like that, and they disband the Justice League, and it's not until they get their memories back or something that like they defeat him. But yeah, it was something stupid like that.
That's really
But
good.
yes, it's the first appearance of the Key, making it a key issue.
Yeah. Wow. Wow, Josh.
Wow, good lord. Did you have that ready in the chamber, or did you look up the first appearance of the Key so that you could ask this question?
Either way, fuck you.
Very funny though. Sorry, fuck you. Yeah.
Moving
We're
on.
united on this.
Yeah. We want to fuck you.
Jesus. I can't believe that he's stuck around.
I mean, he's can't help it. It's so sticky.
Oh, I mean, I'm sticky. He's
Yeah,
stuck around.
that's what I mean. Speaking of, next question comes from Cursed Blob.
Oh no.
That's what I call my cup.
Oh no. Maybe it's pronounced cursed blob. Maybe it's like,
Yeah.
like Shakespearean.
Oh, Cursed Blob.
Oh, damn blob.
To blob or not to blob?
Yeah. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. Blobs in this petty pace from day to day. To the last blob of recorded blob.
Blobio, oh Blobio.
Oh, my cursed blob is rank. It smells to heaven. It hath the primal eldest curse upon it.
Wow, that works too well. Try the gray stuff. It's delicious. Cursed Blob asks, can we talk about the voting for Jason Todd's death?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, technically speaking,
Yeah.
Jason Todd is dead in Batman Volume 1, number 428. Because at the end of Batman Batman Volume 1, number 427,
Yeah.
the Joker has
That's when I get a good meal.
The Joker
'cause I'm
has-
so blazed.
the Joker has beaten him with
Yeah.
a crowbar, and the building has exploded.
Yeah.
And Batman goes, "Oh no, Jason,
Oh,
no!
that's a great Batman impression.
And-
oh no!
Oh no, Jason, no!
Oh.
I'm the cursed blob." And then the issue ends. But at the end of that issue was like 2 1/900 numbers. And
That's how you get a hold of Josh.
yeah, real Joshes were waiting for you to decide whether or not Jason Todd lived or died. I think there was like
It's a very specific king.
there was like a 3 or 4 day window in which to call in. One number was Jason lives.
Wow.
One number was Jason dies. Which, if you're in the 90s and comics are struggling, you got to do something.
Yeah.
Fine, that's an idea. But it's so like, I don't know. It seems sort of like tasteless to have the fans vote on the like direction this character goes that way. You know what I mean? Like,
The only thing worse is if it was like a TV show and you knew that somebody was going to lose their job if the person died.
yeah, fair enough. The story that I think at different times has been verified or unverified or whatever is that someone very, very dedicated to the cause of having Jason die set up an auto dialer
Oh.
and kind of rigged it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the Jason dies only
Yeah.
won by like a bit of a margin. It wasn't like a blowout.
Yeah.
So if it's true that people were auto dialing and stuff like that, then it means that the majority of single
Yeah.
calls in were to save him.
Yeah, so he
And,
shouldn't
and a
have
couple of
died.
people were like, no. So there's potentially an alternate universe where no one has invented an auto dialer
Yes.
and Jason lives.
Wow.
Which is kind of crazy talk. But yeah, essentially they like tabulated these votes.
Yeah.
You had like 3 or 4 days to do it, and that was from the time of the comic being published, so
Yeah.
that they could go to the writer and artist and be like, and here's what you have to do.
Yeah.
I've never heard of or seen anything like that since.
No.
You know, it's not like DC goes on Twitter and goes like, who should Constantine shack up with? And then
Yeah.
you vote and they go like, check out Constantine number 13.
No,
Or, like,
yeah. It's a
they-
fun Twitter poll, yeah.
Yeah, they don't do like shit like that now. I think that's the only instance I could think of like that. I don't know if Marvel ever did something like that. It feels so craven and so tasteless, and maybe that's why it's never happened
Yeah.
again. Yeah.
It seems like such a bad idea.
But also, could you imagine like the effort to like auto dial the
Yeah.
thing? Because I was like, no, I want Robin, the boy wonder, to be dead.
Yeah.
Like I need a kid to get killed in my comics.
Dial 7 if you want it to be a crowbar. Dial 6 if you.
Oh god, that would have been even worse, right? Like Clue, you have to.
It was
pick,
fucking Alfred in the
you gotta
bathtub
pick
with
where
a with
and
a
with what and which villain did it. Yeah, I voted for Two-Face at the 7-Eleven with an expired hot dog. Like. Yeah, it's such a weird anomaly that sort of like fans literally determined what happened with that character.
I voted Batman with tears in his eyes with a belter on his neck.
Well, yeah, but that was because he had discovered that younger, more talented Batman, and that Batman's career was like that trajectory was like up and up and up, and
Moving on, leaving Instagram and heading on over to Reddit.
where everyone's nice and no one's ever been.
Nope, just us. First question comes from Never Say Die, Iron Joker 33, who asks,
All you gotta do is trust me.
"Oh, is he still doing that?"
I'm in the dark cave. You're in the dark cave. I'm in the Batman now.
Nice. I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
If we get 50,
Yeah, if we get 50, we will record a very sincere cover of Shallow as Batman.
yeah. Oh my god. If you're Batman, who am I?
Am I the Jackson Maine Batman?
Yeah.
Oh, obviously.
Yeah. You're always Jackson, Maine.
Yeah, I was driving cross country in the States and I got all the way to the East Coast to masturbate. I was Jackson Maine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've just been posting photos of your fucking dick on Twitter. It's Jackson, Maine.
Yeah, I use my real account for that.
Yeah.
I'm Jackson Maine, yeah. Not Jackson Hall.
Yeah, no.
Good lord. What does Iron Joker ask?
Yes. What is the top iconic issue you wish you could hold and read in person? Not own, just get your hands on for the value of saying, I've actually held this issue in my hands. For me, it would be the first appearance of the Joker.
Oh, wow.
Also, fucking Iron Joker wrote this in camel case, and I'm losing my mind every time I look at it.
Sorry, in what?
Camel case?
What does that mean?
It's when the fucking letters, like each beginning of each one is capitalized.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Well,
I thought camel case was like when people write like the sort of mocking
Oh.
thing where the caps are all over.
no.
Okay.
That's called childish.
Right.
Gambino. I don't know. Yeah. What's your just to hold in your hands? I mean, it's easy to just go like, oh, I want like the Superman number one.
I mean,
like,
I think the answer is Action Comics number
yeah,
one.
Action Comics number one.
Why would I not? Just to
Yeah.
say that I've been there.
Yeah.
I was in my hands. Like,
Was there ever an issue?
That's, I mean, definitely that's up there. Of
Maybe
course.
the Batman's dick, like the first run.
Oh, that Batman
Yeah.
Damned one? Yeah. Well, yes, I would love to hold Batman's dick.
I'd love to get that key issue in my hands.
Maybe like what is it? Brave and the Bold 23 or 24,
Yeah.
whichever one is the first appearance of the Justice League.
Okay.
That might be a cool one just to hold. Like, there's no way I could afford a first appearance of the Justice League. It's never
Is
gonna
there like a
happen.
thing with like, you know, like coins and like money? There's always like these weird misprint stuff that is like super highly valued.
Oh yeah, so yeah, on that key issue note, the misprint thing also can make something sort of special or a collector's item.
yeah.
There's, for example, there's a famous, relatively recent, like within the last 20 years, issue of Superman where the original cover is him and Pa Kent holding beers, like leaning on a fence.
Yeah.
And then someone was outraged by the fact that they were beers, so they changed them to like cans
Really?
of soda. But if you have the beer issue, that's like its own
Ooh,
like
yeah.
that's like having like the Kurt Russell Han Solo doll.
Yeah.
It's sort of the equivalent of that sort of thing. So there's definitely those. Things. You could find like maybe first prints of things where like the lettering's off or they colored a cape wrong and then
Yeah.
they fixed it in
Yeah.
like new printings. And if you're into that sort of stuff, those are kind of fun little like, it's like holding little pieces of like apocrypha, right?
Yeah,
Like
I
you
love
have-
that stuff. Yeah.
that's sort of neat in its own way. Yeah, I mean, as far though as something that like beyond my capacity to own, but just would love to brag that I held. I mean, it's Action Comics
yeah,
number one.
totally.
It's got to be that one.
Yeah. How could you not?
Yeah, I think I would be pretending to be pretentious if I
Yeah.
answered anything but that.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the last question from Dante's Fire. Deep within Dante's Fire.
Oh my god. Well, not too deep though.
Yeah, it's not the Inferno. It's just the fire.
Well, yeah. And I mean, that only goes like 4 or 5 circles deep because after that it gets cold.
Deep within Dante's barbecue lighter.
Yeah. Dante's is the barbecue place. Dante's Fire.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, yo, that barbecue is fire.
Yeah, he wrote us a steak.
Oh my. I mean, that would be great. What a delicious end to this.
It's the juiciest question we got since Josh Gill.
Well done, sir.
Thank you. Well, no, that's not how you have a steak.
Fuck you. Geez, catch up. It's another way
On
you
a
do it.
steak?
I know, it's another way
What's
you do it. I
wrong
know.
with you?
There you go. Now
Condiment king.
you just fucking tied it all together today.
I'm a consummate host.
A condiment host, yeah.
Oh.
There it is, not a competent one. What's iconic? How are you gauging this? What's the standard? And why isn't Icon considered iconic? Or is he?
Of course, Icon is. If you have like an Icon number 1, that's crazy shit.
That's a keeper.
Definitely 100% a keeper.
Yeah.
Icon completely counts. He's a pioneering, like, black superhero leading his own
Hell yeah.
comic book. If you have any issues of that original Black Lightning run,
Oh,
super
yeah.
cool stuff to have, right? But I mean, this does come back to what we've been talking about this whole time. The general, from a collector perspective, what is valuable? First appearances, big deaths. If they lose their powers, if they, something big happens. But so much of that is determined by history.
Yeah.
Like Barry dies in Crisis on Infinite Earths number 8. If a year later Barry was just back, that is less important of a key issue now. But it's because he was gone for 20 years that it's like, that was a huge thing. It
Yeah.
actually changed something, right? So I technically, if we're just talking about the criteria of first appearances or a character
Yeah.
dies, I've got a ton. Everyone
Yeah.
listening at home, all of us have a ton of key issues. But the trick will be in 20 years, do we care about Godspeed?
Yeah.
Do we care enough about him that both his first appearance and his death are important? Has he come back to life? So is it only the first appearance that's
Yeah.
important? Like,
Key issues can be collectible, but
it can also be key to you, too.
key issues don't necessarily mean collectible. They're
Totally.
not one and the same.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, like there are things that I have that make me happy that I think objectively are not like worth more or anything.
No.
I love having that Black Manta thing. I think it's just such a great window into an era where white people were like, is this like racial justice?
Yeah.
And it's like, absolutely not. Like there's something hilarious to me about that.
I would
having
love to have that Superman with the pink kryptonite.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
That again, one just a completely like
Misstep in the right direction.
Totally missed the mark. Where it was like, is this modern? It's
Yeah.
like, did you just make pink kryptonite make Superman gay?
Yeah.
Is that how you think gay works? Like, and how do we say he's gay? Well, he compliments Jimmy's tie. There's like, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, I think if you're into those sort of like off the wall or like weird one-offs or the things where like it happened and they pretend it didn't,
Love that.
those are totally
Yeah.
those could totally be key issues of a collection.
Yeah.
And if I saw things like that, like in a collection, those are the things I would go for. It's not to say they're great quality or that I like endorse their messaging or anything, but they're so wild that
Yeah.
they exist that like
Absolutely.
you must do it.
100%.
But yeah, I mean, it is largely subjective, even the monetary stuff, right? Because it's markets, right? Like those are not objective things.
No.
Like if right now, you know, let's pick a random character. Metamorpho.
Yeah.
Most people don't know Metamorpho if they're not comics people.
For
like,
sure.
They don't have he doesn't have the common knowledge of a Superman or a
No,
Spider-Man.
he's not really showed up in any sort of major movies or anything.
But
Yeah.
let's say tomorrow someone makes this crazy indie Metamorpho movie and it becomes huge, like
Yeah.
John Wick huge. Everyone sees it.
Yeah.
It gets nominated for a ton of awards. You bet your ass that issue
Oh, yeah.
of DC Comics Presents or Brave and the Bold or
Totally.
I think it's Brave and the Bold. Wherever he first appears, you bet your ass that thing skyrockets in value. It's
100%.
completely subjective. Do people care about it? Do they
Yeah,
not?
but it's about how much people want it, right? That's what makes something.
That's exactly
collectible,
it.
at
So I
least.
mean, my advice and my sort of motto for myself is just get the
Buy
things
what you like,
that I
yeah.
like. I don't try and
follow
like compete with that stuff. I'm not out of my way to get
Yeah.
every first appearance of everything. But if it's something kind of fun or quirky or I care about it, like Aquaman, I wouldn't mind having some different first appearance things
Yeah.
of Aquaman because I care about that character. So you do it your own way and make your own collection that is like definitely your collection, and you're gonna find all the fun stuff. And years later, if you're giving it away or selling it or something like that, someone else might find those things and go like, "Oh my god, that's amazing! I can't believe you have this." And it's because of your taste. It's not because some objective organization has told you it's important to have.
It's the same way that people tell you to like invest in stocks. Invest in what you know and like, and don't worry about chasing
Yeah,
where the money's going.
yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, that's it for our questions today, which means that we're going to go and play our favorite game.
Oh yeah, I love this game.
Let's play. Can you guess the name of the character based on how someone who doesn't read comic books can describe that character to us?
I'm gonna come off my big win. Last week, and I'm just gonna say the first thing that pops in my head, right or wrong, and we'll just see what happens.
I like it. Okay. So, if you don't know, and you didn't catch the name of the title, I send a character to my wife. I send a photo of a comic book character to my wife, and she gives me 4 clues to guess what this is. She doesn't like comic books. She barely knows any of the characters, so it's always interesting.
Right.
So, first clue. Is this a DC character or a hobo leprechaun? Or both?
Oh, hobo leprechaun. Okay. Reddish hair, maybe greenish suit, maybe short. I'm gonna say Oberon.
No.
Okay. I know he doesn't have reddish hair. Don't at me in the comments.
I mean, unless it's Josh
Doing
Gill.
all these like Doughboys disclaimers
Yes.
now. It's like,
Don't fucking talk to me.
yeah.
Number 2. Could be played by Christopher Lloyd or anyone's creepy uncle.
Ooh, okay. Oh my god, it's still like such like strong Oberon vibes. Okay. Leprechaun, creepy uncle, Christopher Lloyd, wild hair. Let's just pick someone. Desaad.
No.
Okay.
Number 3.
All right.
Most likely has a skullet going on.
The Mist?
No.
Oh, fuck. That would have been so good. The Mist would be perfect. Damn it. Okay. All right. Is this the last one?
This is the last one.
Fuck.
Last clue.
Okay.
Outfit is too tight, and we don't need to know where the orange stops and the skin starts.
Orange skin. Leprechaun. Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah. Skullet.
Skullet. Orange hair.
Someone's
Skullet. Well, maybe not orange hair. Leprechaun. That's pretty vague. Maybe not about the orange hair. But could be. Is this a Lex Luthor? Is this a Lex?
no.
Fuck. Is this really going to bug me?
Yeah. Someone's screaming, I think, right now.
With a skullet. Ah. We don't need to know where the orange ends and the skin begins.
Yeah.
And it's too tight.
Yeah.
Elongated Man?
No.
I don't know.
I'll give you one final clue.
Okay.
People find it challenging to say this character's name.
Oh, fuck me. Mixes Pentland.
That's right.
Those are good clues. Fuck. You're totally right. Yep. Totally right. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. That's a good one. Those are good clues.
Yeah, those were great clues. Did you residents get this before before the end of this? Did you get it before the doctor? Were you screaming at your headphones on your phone?
I will
Let us
admit
know.
that I do that with other podcasts.
Oh, for
and
sure.
I stop myself from writing on Twitter. But just for the record, we are asking you to tell us. If
Yeah,
you got it.
yeah. Tell the doctor how stupid you think he is.
Well, no, don't do it like that.
Yeah, he said it from the beginning. You need to bring him down a couple pegs.
That's not what I said.
Yep.
I said I was finally feeling good about myself.
Yeah,
I said
we
I've
can't
never-
have that.
Said I haven't felt a height like this in so long.
Yeah, this is obviously no good, and we need to stop it.
Oh, okay.
So we would love to hear from you residents. Also,
Just like a low flying Icarus, I've already come too high.
yeah,
Okay.
any height is too high.
Right. No.
We would love to hear from you, or you can send in a question for next week's episode.
Yeah, next week's episode, the theme as selected by our Golden Age subscribers is teleportation.
Ooh.
So devices and characters and
Like
powers,
that. Ooh,
anything
yeah.
about teleporting.
I like that.
Or versions of crossing a big amount of space in a quick amount of time.
Wow.
So it could be dimensional, like hopping, or
Yeah.
it could be like actual teleportation or whatever.
Neat.
Yeah.
Love that. Oh, so make sure you send those questions through our various social media platforms, such as our Facebook,
Dr. DC Podcast.
Twitter,
At Dr. DC.
Instagram,
Dr. DC Podcast.
email,
DrDCPodcast@gmail.com.
of course, our subreddit.
r/Dr_DC.
The doc phone is always open.
208-917-3238.
That's 208-917-DCEU if you're nasty. And of course, you can always jump on our website.
DrDCPodcast.com or .ca.
And don't forget to give us 5 stars. We got one from the beginning of this episode. We love getting those, and we're trying to get to 100.
We're getting there.
100.
We are getting close to 100 reviews.
Oh my God.
Of course, at 100 reviews, we will unleash the Lord of the Rings miniseries.
Sure, yeah, that's a thing that'll happen. Maybe something else will happen. Who knows?
Maybe something else.
Maybe we're getting a little antsy. Who knows?
We said at 200 reviews, but we're super impatient. But
So-
at an undetermined milestone, so keep sending those reviews.
Yes.
We will also start a brand new podcast.
Yeah.
A Supernatural rewatch podcast.
That's right. Holy shit, baby.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So get those in, and of course, don't forget to give us a subscribe. You know,
That's right.
those always help us out.
Totally.
And if you like what you hear, and you want that Supernatural podcast to come, but it's taking too long. Don't worry. There's extra content every single week, baby.
That's right. Go over to the Patreon, patreon.com/DrDC. We have a $5 level and a $7 level. You get a full bonus episode every week on Friday. It's the double dose. We just geek out about different things. And then at the Golden Age level at $7, you get that. Plus you get a video episode every week about something that I'm currently reading.
That's right.
You get to help vote on episode themes. There's a merch discount. All sorts of extra stuff when we do like fun big months like Fanagar or Doctober or Docmas. So head on over there. That Patreon money helps us do all of this crazy stuff and spend less time with our families.
Oh, God. Yeah, please help us do that. That's it for this week.
Adios.
Ciao, ciao.
All the superheroes, they always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventure, they are men of might.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.